Shalom, y'all. Bashim Hashabakatah, Yahweh Shema Athah, Bashim Yahushai. You understand? This precinct officer 1000 Muthumya out of I.S.U.P.K. You know, we started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commander during YAHANNA. Been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969. Truth being that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are God's chosen people according to the Bible. Soy el oficial Muthumya de la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal, una organización que comenzó en la calle 125 en Harlem, Nueva York, bajo el mando del general YAHANNA. Enseñamos que los negros, los hispanos y los nativos americanos son familia y son el pueblo elegido de Dios según la Biblia. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna get into a couple things. This is the Brotherhood class here. You know what I'm saying? We do it here every Tuesday at the UN Library. You understand? You know what I mean, where we teach the truth, you know what I mean? And the Brotherhood class is where we teach brotherhood, thing that we lack a lot here in the cities and the urban areas and all different states and zones. You understand? We don't have brotherhood, and this is what we're here for. And we're here to show brotherhood to, you know, a lot of our people out there, because without this, we have nothing. Without any brotherhood, we don't have no foundation, because that's the very that's the blood, you know what I mean? That's the heart that keeps that's the organ that keeps the blood flowing, you know what I mean, in the body of Christ, you know what I mean, in the nation of Israel, where we gonna have to have brotherhood. Understand? Where a brother, you know, loves another brother enough, you understand, to not do any harm to him. You understand? The scriptures say, you understand, to prefer thy brother over yourself. Understand? So this is what the things we have to do here. If we don't do it, then we destined to fail. We destined to fail, and it's one of the reasons why, you know what I mean, we kind of, you know, failing today. The only time we get to come together, the only time we want to come together in unity is when, you know what I mean, your favorite sports team wins. You understand? When your favorite sports team is winning and all that, and they win a championship, that's when brothers want to come together. That's when you know what I mean, our nation want to come together. You understand? When we could want to come together to make sure that we better than everybody else. You understand? Like General Hyman was just bringing out yesterday on how if we lose, so like if we win alongside every other nation, you know what I mean, that's here. You know what I mean? So we winning and the East Indians winning. Also, the Chinese winning. The oppressors are winning. Then how the hell are we winning when we all winning together? It got to be a winner and it got to be a loser. You understand? We all winning together. That means you really didn't win anything. You understand? We really didn't win nothing. You know what I mean, compared it to imagine if, you know what I mean, the Knicks was winning alongside the Spurs. They both win. Then there's really no winner. You understand? It got to be a winner and a loser. And right now, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, woman, you know what I mean, we're losing. We're losing because, you know, everybody else is winning. Everybody else got they you know what I'm saying, infrastructure in our neighborhoods. You understand? Chinatown is in every major city. You understand? And, you know, they get support from their country. They get support from their country, and they don't speak a lick of English. They don't speak a lick of English because really they don't have to. Like Commander YAHANNA was saying, like, you know what I mean, they don't speak any English because they don't feel like they need to, and they don't. They don't. All they gotta know how to say is $1, $2. You understand? Like, they don't have to know how to speak proper English. You understand? All they gotta know how to do is how to wield a gun and aim it at one of our sons. You know what I'm saying? Or take our money. You understand? And, you know, do us harm. How to make money off of us. That's the things that all they have to learn how to do. You know what I mean? When we could be prospering by us leaning on each other. Understand? By us leaning on each other, we'll always win. It was a sister, right? It's a sister whose nail salon shop is booming right now, and she looking for people to work for her, looking for people, employees and all that, right? And her nail salon shop is booming because everybody's protesting the Chinese nail salons. Everybody going against and fighting against the Chinese nail spots. You understand? You know what I mean? Yeah, boycotting. So like, yeah, boycotting the Chinese spots, Chinese nail spots. You understand? And even in them Chinese nail spots, right? They don't even use real, like the stuff they use in there is like it's car it's stuff you use to wash cars and stuff like that. They brought that out a couple years ago. Like this, the things they using in there ain't even right. You know what I mean? But a lot of sisters is now leaving that, and now they want to go and support a sister that has her nail spot. And that's the thing we need to do, because and you see how prosperous her business is when we decide to just support us and stick together with us. You know what I mean? When that happens, man, we better than everybody. Ours, we naturally just gonna be above everybody. I mean, her spot is naturally better than all the Chinese nail spots, just naturally, because the sisters know what they like. They know how they like to get things done. They know how they like their nails to look and all that good stuff, right? More than the Asians, they just came accustomed to learning how we like things, and they took it and studied us and did it, and they just do things how the sisters like doing things, right? But the sisters are doing it for themselves now, and that's how we got to do it going forward. I mean, that's how, as a nation, we got to think like that. You understand? Let it be a brother out here. It's a lot of black-owned restaurants out here in Trenton. You know what I'm saying? I'll do a review for soon, and visit their restaurants and do reviews for them. You understand? Because this is what we have to do. We got to, support our businesses, support us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we don't do that, come on, man. Then we're gonna be eating bad meat and bad, food from the Italians and all that. The restaurants over there, they just had one shut down. Some Italian restaurant shut down. I seen online and all that, right? You know what I mean? Like, the more of that needs to happen. Like, if we stop going to Crown Fried Chicken, like as a whole, not just a couple individuals. I'm talking about like as a whole. You understand? They will shut down. They will shut down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it says. Let's see if I get a preset.
Fire, sir, because they don't even eat that food too. Like the Chinese restaurants, that the food that they serve us, they don't even eat that food.
Right.
You understand? They eating something healthier or something totally different. They feed us poison because they know that is what sells. Like black people love poison. We poison ourselves and we eat poison. You understand? So it's definitely heavy what you bringing out.
Yeah, right. Heavy. You know what I'm saying? And they do that. The Chinese, okay, you could say that, but then I see videos on Instagram and these nasty mugs, you know what I'm saying? They eating squid, live squid, they eat frogs.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you right. They eating that stuff. They eating that stuff, but stuff they feeding us, like man, my old slave, I used to, walk into their restaurants. They not sanitary. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the chicken and the trays on the ground.
That's right.
You understand? And it's sitting out for days, and that's why sometimes you might get a stomach ache eating their food. You know what I mean? Because they don't care that their food is growing bacteria on them shelves. You understand? Like some of that stuff should be in the fridge. It'll be sitting out all day, and they feeding it to you. And you eating that food, not knowing what they doing in the back of that kitchen.
That's a fact.
So
that's a fact.
We need to stop, like you bringing out. We need to stop going to other nations to support their businesses. You understand? Like we need to put our nation back on top, and it starts with the economy. It starts with how we move our money. It starts with how we support one another businesses.
Right. I seen a video about what you was just saying. it's a brother that went into their restaurant and went into the back. He was portraying like he was an inspector, health inspector. You feel me? He was portraying like he was one of those cats. And he went back there, say he seen roaches around. He calling them out on it and all. He was like, "What's that? What's that? What's this? What's this right here?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He looking into the shelves that you talking about, where they got the meat and everything just sitting there, and it's not even refrigerated for real.
Not covered, flies just laying
Right.
on top of it. You understand? Like at the King of Prussia Mall, I was the engineer over there. I used to have to do my inspections.
Yeah.
We used to step over the chicken and everything. And it's a time like I don't know if people know when you cooking on those stoves in the back and it catches fire, a chemical shoots down, right? And it puts the fire out. So whether the food is on there or whatever, right? That chemical shooting down, they wanted to still cook later on. Like we like, nah, y'all gotta shut down for the rest of the day.
Right.
But they wanted to still cook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't care that chemical that shot down and put the fire out got on the meat. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to still cook and everything and serve their customers, so they had a long line out there. And we had to shut them down.
And was that okay? That was why y'all shut them down. Was that like a daily? That was a daily occurrence.
No, it's not a daily occurrence. You know, it's one of them, but it just shows their mindset. They don't care what they giving their customers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was at the King of Prussia Mall.
Y'all shutting them down.
Yeah,
Moab get down like that, man. Moab gets down like that. And I seen another one. Let's talk about Moab since we're talking about him. I seen another one where Moab got a trash bag, a big yard bag full of dead dogs, unalive dogs. You know what they doing? You know what they doing with them unalive dogs? They chopping them up, and they, on the late after hour tip. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more customers being served.
That's on Trenton.
No, I don't. I hope not. I pray it's not. But you can't. Say it's not happening in any Chinese spots around here.
Assume it is.
Yeah, you gotta assume. Just gotta assume. That's a safe bet. You know what I mean? Yeah, these Moabites over here dragging this big behind yard bag, and it got like 15 dead unalive dogs in it. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that, it's like, damn. You know what I mean? And it looked like they was in the back of their building, and like somebody just caught their behind. You know what I mean? They caught them on camera, and all you could think about is, man, we got to stop eating from them
because they just trying to save money.
Right.
You understand? Most of the stuff that they get it shipped over from their country. So I'm sure when there's delays or whatever, they go out there and probably hit a cat with a rock or something real quick. And like you said, start collecting them and throwing them in a duffel bag and sliding them right in that kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start getting to work.
I mean, Moab had a big, you cleaning up your backyard, you got one of them big bags, you raking up leaves or something, you put them in one of them big bags. He had one of those bags. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
They falling out, tumbling out, and all that. I should send next time I see it, I'll send it to you. But damn, but that's what's going on. The East Indians, they don't even believe in hygiene. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They don't even believe in hygiene. You know what they do? We brought that out on Black Watch a couple weeks ago on what they do is they don't have sinks. You understand? They don't have toilets. You feel me? They don't got toilets. What they use is maybe I can get a picture of it, but they got some. It looked like a toilet, but it's not. It's like a flat surface with toilet type material. So what they do is they defecate, and they don't have toilet paper to use either. They use their hand. They use their hand and wipe their behind with it, like they wipe their behind like that. And you gotta wonder, which kind of make me sick. What you doing when you eating crown fried chicken? You know what I'm saying? What y'all it kind of makes me worry of that. You understand? You know what I'm saying? You want to say something about that?
No.
Okay, yeah, but that's just one of the things you got to be careful with when these nations, because that's how they get down. These are the people that's over us. And you look at it, the Chinese, you understand, and they got no issues with unaliving us. They have no issues with harming our babies. You know what I mean? That we send to the store, to their store. You know what I mean? It was a wonderful it was a wonderful thing. I was with Officer Marah a few weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago. We just coming back from where we coming back from? DC. You know what I'm saying? But like we was in North Philly and I seen like it was like a Judite small business type of thing.
Right.
But it was, you know how we do, like we open up late night, we try to get whatever money we could. You know what I mean? They look like they had a little bit of everything in there, just riding past. There's people outside, you know, I mean, they look like they trying to stuff their car with product or whatever they had, cleaning products they had. You know what I mean? Look like they sell carpets or something out of there too. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was like we got to get back to things like that where we leaning on each other on that type of aspect. And I say this all the time. I'm in the, the barrio all the time. I'm in the, the ghetto out here tricking all the time, where the Latino tribes is at, and the bodegas here. They got everything you need in the bodegas. They got everything we need there. They have all the, you get arroz con pollo all day long there. They got cleaning product. They got toilet paper. They got, little cereal, milk, eggs, cheese, you name it. You know what I mean? You want to get fancy? They got syrup for for milk. Say you're trying to make some strawberry milk or chocolate milk or whatever. They got everything you need there. Paper towels. You understand? We could lean, like we're gonna be leaning on each other, and that's how this nation's gonna rise up. Blacks and Latinos leaning on each other. And as we supposed to, because we the same damn people. The lost 12 tribes in the nation of Israel. This is what the Lord said. Can I get Leviticus 20 and 26, Baba Shaw? Yeah, Leviticus 20 and 26. We got to lean on one another, and we will do it. You understand? We already, around each other. You understand? All the day long, we suffering next door each other. You understand? Same oppressors, same enemies. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
And ye shall be holy unto me. Holy means separate. You know what I mean? When you go to church, that's not what they're going to tell you. They're going to have you believe that being holy is being sanctified. They're going to have you believe that, holy is something different. You know what I mean? Acting like they homosexual, LGBTQ, you know what I mean? You name it. You know what I mean? Behind that, they're going to have you think that's being holy. Holy means separate or to be set apart. You understand? All right, so go ahead.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. You understand? Go ahead.
And have severed you from other people.
And he severed us from other people, meaning talking about these races of people that's around us. He separated us from them. He separated us from the Africans, the Asians, you understand, and the oppressor, of course, because he knows that these people would prey over us. You know what I'm saying? He knows that they will prey on us and that they will, do nothing but harm to us. The Lord knows better than anybody. So why would you question him when he says, or why would you, oppose his stance on having him separate us from everybody else? He separated us from everybody else, and that should be it. And nobody should fight against that. Point blank, period. You understand? Try to go against him. Now we see what happened, right? We see, we had people that went against that and didn't care about that. Hence Martin Luther King Jr. You know what I mean? Malcolm X when he came back from Mecca. You know what I mean? We know.
If I could,
go ahead.
What you bringing out is heavy because on the whole general topic of what we bringing out is that, we need to stop beefing with one another so we could be comfortable with going on the other side of town and going to our stores and supporting each other's companies. And just from reading these scriptures, Moses was telling our elders, you understand, in Deuteronomy 28, he was telling our elders what would happen if we was to go ahead and turn ourselves away from the Lord. Like, it's a curse on us that our strangers will be above us. The strangers that was around us or, about, they will get above us. In Deuteronomy 28, verse 43, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. You understand? This is a curse right here. This is the thing that we're going through right now. Like these curses in Deuteronomy 28 after the verse 15 is what has overtaken us over the generations of time. You understand? We are now seeing these other nations, getting money out of our pockets. You know what I mean? Making us the biggest consumers in our community. You understand? It's saying that, and thou shalt come down very low. We are the ones that's low in Trenton. You understand? We don't own Trenton. You understand? We need to take that back. And that's what the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge is trying to push, to take back, understand, this land. You understand? For our brothers, that our indigenous brothers, and this belongs to them. You understand? Like Jeremiah Hyman was bringing out that the kingdom is within you. You understand? We need to push for the kingdom to come. You understand? We need to build the kingdom. And this is what we're trying to do here in the I.S.U.P.K. And it starts by stop killing one another and supporting one another. You understand? Stop killing one another.
Yeah. Damn right. Yeah, to wake up, brothers, you know what I mean? And, wake up to the knowledge of the truth, you understand, and watch this nation crumble and watch America fall.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it is now. You understand? Donald Trump, he got this UFC match over the weekend outside the White House, which is child's play. You understand? And Officer Gadiawan, shout out to him. Out of Texas, brought out how, Romans did this in the past. How the Romans did it in the past and the sign of America falling. You know what I mean? How the Romans did it, they did it to where it was a sense of them trying to show power in the midst of their kingdom falling. And that's what America just did. That's what Donald Trump just did. America is going to fall. It's going to crumble. You know what I mean? But, like my brother said, the time right now is to change our ways, from how we've been taught here in America. We've been taught by, the way we are here right now is not, it's not how we are naturally. Naturally, we are loving people. Naturally, you understand, we just, brotherly people, that take care of one another. Back in the 30s, we wasn't doing these things we doing now. Back in the time where we had our own, we wasn't doing these things. We wasn't in the abortion clinics by the millions. We wasn't having our babies getting unalived in there by the millions. You understand? Our woman was at home raising them babies. Our woman was working. Our woman was, doing what they had to do to make sure the family stayed afloat, along with the brother going out working and all that, having a strong family structure. You know what I mean? When the black man got kicked out of the household, when they had an attack on the black household in the 60s, where they pushed family court on us, where they pushed, Section 8 on us, you understand? And brothers couldn't stay in the household anymore. Brothers couldn't stay in the house if you wanted your family to, have a roof over their head. That black man couldn't be there. They make movies and things about it, shows, episodes about it on different shows. Showing how the black man couldn't be there. The black man had to hide and all. They might have did it in the Jeffersons. I could be wrong, but it's movies about it, it's documentaries about it. You could look this up on how the black man, he would live there, but he would have to be on his toes when he's there, because they would go in there and check and make sure that a black man is not in that house. And if he was in that house, you gone. The whole family getting thrown out. It was diabolical what they did to us, man, in this place. And a lot of us, we walking around. That's why we call it the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, because we're lost here. We don't know that we're under attack right now, like spiritual attack. We don't know that they really coming at us crazy right now. You know what I mean? And how they been did it in the past and how they just adding on to it now. That was a critical attack they did to us back then, having a black man taken out of the household. Because now my son can't get raised right. my son might grow up to be, you know what I mean, emotional like his mother because he don't have that father in the house. My daughter is not gonna have a good look at um, as a role model or a man, a father figure, or a strong man, you know what I mean, that she could look to have later on when during the appropriate time. You know what I'm saying? Having a, you know what I mean, a good role model, a good father figure, a good man to look at, you know what I mean, for her to later on in life to have a man to have the aspire to have a man like her father. You understand? We was stripped of that opportunity. We was, you know, robbed of that opportunity because the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. He's the devil the Bible speaks of. This is what he's been doing for decades, man. You know what I mean? The CIA been in our neighborhoods. The CIA been in our neighborhoods and destroying us from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? With all the drugs they pouring in, the guns, you understand? You think niggas is manufacturing guns? You think we doing that? We not doing that. You know what I mean? We magically making the guns appear in the neighborhood. We doing that? No. What about the drugs? No. You know what I mean? We learned all the wicked and evil things from these oppressors. This is all taught behavior. This here the behavior we have here in America. You understand?
Real quick,
Go
real
ahead.
quick. That's what you bringing out is heavy because that's another, curse in the scriptures as well. We was reading 43, verse 43. It says, "The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." Verse 44. "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." You understand? Just like he was saying, they putting all these drugs into our neighborhoods. Are we putting the drugs into theirs? You understand? Like they're putting all these guns into our neighborhood. Are we putting all the guns into theirs? You understand? Are we destroying their community? You understand? Even though that's not what our people's about. Our people's about, actually doing Lord's work. You understand? But even when we talk about our businesses, it says, "He shall lend to thee." We go to their banks, right? We go to their banks and ask them for money for our LLCs and our S corps and our C corp corporations. They print the money. They giving out millions. They giving out 100,000s. We got to go to them to get lent to us. And it's saying right here in the scriptures that they will be in this position. You understand? This is talking about us. You know what I mean? When you read these scriptures, it's talking about the ones who's at the bottom right now. The Lord is trying to bring us back to the top. You understand? So
Damn right. Damn right. And another thing going like another thing where it's proof that, you know, the small hats are not the real Israelites, are not the real Jews. The Bible speaks of, you know what I mean? They came over here. Well, first off, right? They came into that land of Israel in the 1900s, right? 1940s, something like that. You know what I mean? And
we got the World War or something like that.
right. And then they set up there, but now they here too. But like now they, you know, they set up a central banking system here in America. And all the lands that don't want to have that didn't want to have that go on, they go ahead and you know what I mean, invade and bomb them up. I mean, just like today, where they want to do like America's agenda, you know what I mean, that's pushed on all these other places on this earth, you know, over in the Middle East right now. If they not down with it, they're gonna you know what I mean, bomb the hell out of you. They're gonna invade you. They're gonna make sure you destroy it. Look at Cuba. Look at Venezuela. You know what I mean? They just go ahead and trying to take over everything, everybody that doesn't want to be down with what America wants. You understand? Go ahead.
Because he shall be the head and thou shalt be the tail.
Yeah, they gonna be the head and we gonna be the tail. We gonna barely get the crumbs. You understand? We gonna barely get the crumbs. You think what we have now, what we live off now is good? You think what we live off now is decent? You know what I mean, is something we shouldn't even be complaining about? or we shouldn't bring it up because we get government assistance. You understand? If you look at all the money these people have, you will be upset too. You see all the money they pushing around, throwing around. When Joe Biden was in office, he gave what millions of dollars to Ukraine. You understand?
Billion.
I believe so, billions. Yeah, con. You know what I mean? He gave them countless amount of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trump is fighting for a nation. You know what I mean? The small hats over there in Israel. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? When he don't even have to fight for him, he putting America in harm's way because he want to fight for these small hats that got control over him, man. You know what I mean? And like, listen, Elon Musk is a trillionaire now, reportedly. He's a trillionaire. It just got reported last week. He's a trillionaire, and like, damn, if you're a trillionaire, goddamn, why is it people out here sleeping on the sidewalk? Why I gotta see my brothers out here sleeping on the sidewalk? You know what I mean? They don't know where to lay their head at night, and we got a trillionaire African American Edomite, African American European man coming over here from Africa. You understand? And now he's a trillionaire. And damn, well, he should be getting shipped back. He should be getting deported back over there to Africa. Technically, you know what I mean? He should be getting shipped over there, deported to Africa. That oppressor. But Donald Trump, you know what I mean? He has picks. He you know what I mean? He hates us. He hates the actual slaves here in America, along with his people. They hate us here and don't want to see us rise. But Elon Musk, you know what I mean, a so-called oppressor, you know what I mean, a so-called white man coming over there from Africa, you know what I mean, who was an immigrant coming over here and got rich, and he's now a trillionaire, and there's no issues, there's no problems. You know what I mean? The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. We say this thing for a reason, man. You know what I mean? There's trillionaires walking around here, you know what I mean, in places, you know, they breathing a different type of atmosphere than we are. The air they breathing is different than what niggas is breathing all day long. Right. They even put, you know what I mean, our hoods, our ghettos, you know what I mean, or the place where we stay at, the atmosphere where we stay at, it, like the climate is like the worst climate reported. Like it's stats on that where we stay at is the most hottest places. It's like it's where the heat is most unbearable. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It was a brother that was talking to me. It's an organization out there that's trying to push to get more trees into certain neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, the trees block you from the sun. They give you more oxygen. Mm-hmm. Statistically proven that where there's more trees, lower crime rate. You understand? So do we have a lot of trees in our hoods? You understand? Like the suburbs do?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So basically what I'm trying to say is that it's a huge strategy on how they designed our environment. They took real control of our environment, man. Like this, they destroyed it to completely, you know what I mean? Like to where we can't even breathe good, clean air. Like, cause trees, they give us more oxygen. More trees, you got more oxygen. You understand? You think clearer. You understand? So it gets real deep on how, you know, they destroy us, you know, real swift. You
right.
Understand?
Right, that along with the drugs that brothers is not abusing, but using. You understand? When brothers out here you know, getting high and drunk out their mind, you understand, you know, drunk out of control, you understand, abusing alcohol, that doesn't add to it. That doesn't help either. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor, he has so many tricks up his sleeve to make sure we never rise as a nation. Can I get Deuteronomy 28:1? Baba Gasol? You know what I mean? He has so many things up his sleeve to make sure we never rise. You understand? But the ISUPK is here and will always be here for our people to show you that we're going to rise and that we can do this. You understand? That we're going to make this nation work. We're going to make this nation rise. We're going to make this nation something amazing like it never been seen before. Go ahead when you got it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1.
Mhm.
And it shall come to pass, if
All
thou
right.
shalt hearken diligently.
Now it says, it shall come to pass, meaning this will happen. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, mean to listen and to do what he says. Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
To observe, meaning to, you know, see what he's saying, hear what he's saying, and to what?
Do all his commandments.
Do all his commandments. It didn't say some of them. It didn't say, you know, a little bit. It didn't say 50%. You know what I mean? It didn't say any of that. It said what?
Do all his commandments.
All his commandments. Now, this is something you know what I mean? I compare this with, you know, Matthew, you understand, Matthew 17 and all that. You know what I mean? Where, let me see if I can get it. You go over where you at. I'm gonna grab it real quick. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Bear with me a second. But before I get that, you know what I mean? Where it says right there, you know what I'm saying? Where it says, what that, you went off of it?
No, I got it. To observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
Which I command thee this day. You understand? All the commandments. You got to stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You can't eat that. You know what I mean? You can't do the things the Lord said not to do. You can't observe these holidays of the oppressor. You understand? You can't observe these holidays of the oppressor. Once you do that, you know what I mean, you falling off. You know what I mean, you going into sin now. You understand? You taking sin on when you do that. We gotta be keeping the Lord's commandments. We gotta reject the things the oppressor put on us. We gotta reject those things, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
That the Lord will set us on high above all nations. He gonna put us above everybody. This is what you was pulling, some of the things you was pulling earlier. Right. He gonna put us above every single last nation on this earth. When it says nation, it means races. You know what I mean? For Christians out there that don't know the Bible. You know what I mean? Nation is talking about race. And do you know we went to a Dunday festival this Sunday, which was a couple days ago. We went out there, obviously also like a Cat Barrier, obviously a die myself. We was out there first, you know what I mean? And we had to listen to some Christians. Some Christians walked up on us, and we had to listen to them telling us about why won't we love the oppressor at a black festival. You know, I mean, they gotta come to us and ask us, why do y'all not like the oppressors like y'all do? Why do y'all do at a black festival where we supposed to be celebrating black excellency, right? You know what I mean? We leave it up to some Christians to walk up on us and ask us why do we hate or why do we despise, you know what I mean, our oppressor, our slave masters. You understand? And that the thing about these Christians is it's not that, and Commander General YAHANNA brought it out years and years ago. I seen an old video of him say this. It's not that Christians love everybody, they just love oppressors. They love their slave masters. Right. You understand? They whore for a man that's in power. That's what it is. You understand? Ain't that because you ain't coming up on us talking about why do we not like Chinese? Why do we hate the Japanese? Why don't y'all like the Eskimos? Y'all not saying any of that. Y'all only inquiring about us having a disdain for our slave masters. You understand? And back in the day, I think it's something that Harriet Tubman would have did to y'all back in the day. I mean, Harriet Tubman would have took care of y'all back in the day. Slave, Negroes like that had a mindset like that. It's the reason why Harriet Tubman carried y'all the way she did back then. You know what I mean? In her, own car, that's the way she did it. But it's a reason. I understand why she did it. Because, listen, man, y'all really, it's something in y'all where y'all holding us back, really. You brainwashing brothers and sisters out there to love the very man that's unalive in them. love the very man that's oppressing us and is doing nothing but harm. Is not helping us at all. You understand? Ecclesiasticus 12:10 says to, never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. When you do that, brother, when you trust in your enemy, now we got America. You know what I'm saying? We got America now when you trust your enemy. Before that, what it was, the Gadites living in paradise here. But they trust in the enemy, and now look at them. We got America now. You want to say something, brother?
Come on. So, see, like what the Christians is doing right now, they suffering under what they can't see. You understand? We observe and realize that we are these chosen people of the Bible, and that we are supposed to be above our oppressors. You understand? But we're trying to get them out of that witchcraft that they are in. You understand? It's not that we hate our brothers. We love our brothers that's in that Christian church, but they need to get out of that Christian church. You understand? Because that doctrine, it has us continuing to serve our oppressor. And this is what we are suffering right now. In Deuteronomy 28, verse 48, it says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. So when it says and in want of all things, that's why they're looking at us like we crazy. We're crazy for, disliking our oppressor. You understand? Like they don't understand why we don't want to get along with them, because you know why? The oppressor lends them money for their LLC. The oppressor lends them money for all their businesses, and they help them pay their bills. That's why the scripture says a gift destroyed the heart. You understand?
That's right.
That's why they come up to us and they're sitting there saying, like, we don't understand why you hate the ones that's feeding us. We don't understand why you hate the ones that's clothing us, like that's putting clothes on our back. You understand? But we read these scriptures and realize the only reason why they are in that position to give us these things and are that they're in this position to lend us these things is because it says, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies. Keep how the Lord is saying enemies. Right after we chose to go against, our Lord, our power, you understand, and choose these other nations, God, we ended up serving our enemies. And that's what happens when you join in their beliefs, in their religions, and you understand, you follow their customs. You're just serving your enemies, because they would never look at you as an equal. You understand? They will look at their race as the superior race within their customs. You understand? But these scriptures are our customs. That's why no oppressor can sit there and battle us and try to teach us who we are. You understand? They failed at trying to teach us who we are in our school districts, in our education system. They failed at teaching us who we are. You understand? That's how they keep us destroyed. They don't want us to know who we are. But these scriptures is letting you know, is bringing that hope back. That's why in Romans 15:4 it says, the things that are written aforetime is written for our learning. You understand? So that let me get it real quick, if you could.
Well, go ahead. Man, what's heavy what you're saying is the black leaders of today. You understand? The black Latino leaders that's supposed to be leading our people today are professional strippers for our oppressors. You understand? Right. They are professional strippers, man. You know what I mean? Because they are being hoarded out. Right. They being sellouts, man. They getting all the money from them that's supposed to be going to us. Right. And they stashing for themselves, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Go ahead. You got what you wanted?
I got Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. You understand? They didn't bring these scriptures into our education system. They knew not to give a people their culture back. They wanted us to have their customs so that we would never know who we are. Because you know why? They want us to lean on them and for food and for hunger and for thirst and for clothes and for want of all things. They want that. You understand? It's a psychological warfare that, the Israelite brothers in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, we understand that we're in. And you understand? We understand that they are destroying us with it. You understand? It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning,
Right.
that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Reading these scriptures, being taught by brothers like Mathumya and General Muhammad and our Commander General YAHANNA, it's going to bring you back hope. It's going to, give you back that integrity to want to even live. You understand? When you serve your oppressor, you're going to die. You understand? You need to serve the Lord so you can live.
Right.
That's all I want to bring up.
Right. You know what I'm saying? What's heavy about that is, brother, if I can get Isaiah 30, so like 30 and 1, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, our black leaders doing a terrible job at leading us. And really what they are, if you really want to look at them and see who they truly are, get a real understanding of who they are, they're the Sadducees and Pharisees of today. Right. You know what I mean? The same ones that was doing evil to us in the past, during Christ's time, you understand? That's them resurrected back up in the earth today. You know what I mean? Reincarnated. You know what I mean? Our black leaders. You know what I mean? Your pastor, your reverend. You understand? You know what I mean? If I can get that precept.
Okay. It's book of Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
Woe to the rebellious children. Now, when you read the word woe, if you look that up in your dictionary, your Webster's dictionary, the word woe means destruction. Destruction, you know what I mean? So why would the Lord want to destroy somebody? He said destruction to what?
To the rebellious children.
To the rebellious children, man. The rebellious children that do what? Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
You understand? That take counsel, but not of me. We've been taking counsel from these sodomites in the pulpit. You understand? We've been taking counsel from everybody but the Lord. You understand? That's why we destroy right now. That's why they over there stealing our money right now. That's supposed to be going to the ghetto. That's supposed to be going to my poor next door neighbor. You understand? That don't have anything. You understand? That goes to the brothers that's in the shelters, in the homeless shelters. You know what I mean? But they taking it for themselves. That's why we destroyed right now. It's a destruction to the rebellious children. You know what I mean? We in this poor state, and we'll continue to go to church. We'll continue to go to church. You understand? You know what I mean? And more so, I want to grab this one, Jeremiah 23. That's the one I really want to grab. You know what I mean? Get them, you know what I mean? Get it where they really need to go. You know what I mean? Jeremiah 23 and 1.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors.
Woe be unto the pastors. Destruction to them because of what they doing. What are they doing? Let's read.
That destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
That scatter the sheep of the Lord's pasture. You understand? They scattering us abroad. You know how they doing it? They telling us, nah, man, God loves everybody. Oh, no. You can eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. The hell with them niggas talking about over there on that street corner. You know what I'm saying? The hell what they talking about? They some crazy, you know what I mean? Forget them. You can celebrate your birthday. God loves you for who you are truly inside. You know what I'm saying? He's scattering the Lord's sheep. She's scattering the Lord's sheep because y'all know y'all got woman pastors over the church too. You know what I mean? That's a diabolical. That's a sin according to the Bible. You know what I mean? There ain't supposed to be no woman over no man. You know what I mean? But y'all in there separating us. And when you're doing it, you're teaching us to do wrong. You're teaching us to go against the Lord. And the scripture said, he that teaches men to do so, meaning to learn the ways as not of the Lord, will be the least in the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? You teach your people to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. That's what you're doing. You understand? That's why the Lord said destruction to the pastors. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings.
The Lord gonna visit the pastors for what the evil mess they've been doing to us, man, behind closed doors. You understand? It's now starting to come out a little bit, but it's a lot more that we don't know about. You know what I mean? We know about that nasty, disgusting sodomite, you know what I mean, Eddie Long. You know, we know about Creflo Dollar. We know about Kirk Franklin. We know about T.D. Jakes. You understand? We know about them now, but it's a lot that we don't know. You know what I mean? You want to say something?
No, well,
Yeah, it's a lot that we do not know. You know what I mean? About these dirt bags in there that's on acting like they better than somebody when they the most vile, disgusting piece of garbage you ever gonna meet. They the most selfish, conniving, you know what I mean, money grubbing bastards you ever gonna meet in your life. They driving something nice while you catching the bus from church. They in there, you know what I'm saying, renovating the church while you starving and, you know what I mean, suffering in the ghetto on Section 8. You know what I mean? They piling up money in there and you don't know what the hell you gonna eat. When you gonna feed your grandbabies or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you gonna feed your kids and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because they got all the money. They got all the money and they keeping it for themselves, man. They keeping it for themselves. Oh, is more still?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 3, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna eventually do away with you churches. We're gonna eventually do for our own. We event like we're doing now. Eventually we're gonna wake up to the knowledge that these churches are doing absolutely nothing for us. You know what I mean? We can't respect no goddamn Christians around here, man, because you do nothing for us, man. You do nothing for the people. You know what I mean? Black, we just we went to the Meduva projects, fed the whole projects. Where else we went? We went to New York. Remember that we was there. You know what I mean? We went to New York and fed the whole Latino tribes. I was in that shelter. That was a shelter, homeless shelter, where they was raising hell in that homeless shelter, fighting one another. Because that's what leaders do. That's what leaders do. We stare down danger, you know what I'm saying? Not that it was dangerous, but we stare down any obstacle and we go ahead and take care of the job. We know that oppressors don't want us to do this. We do it any damn way. They want us to fall. They want us to fall and all that. I get Matthew 5 and 19. Yeah, you know what I mean? They want us to, you know what I mean, fall without anybody there to save us. We're gonna do it anyway. You understand? Fake Israelites and Christians, you know what I mean, tired of you know, sick at our they you know what I mean, get sick at the sight of us, right? We don't give a damn. We doing what we gotta do anyway. You know what I mean? We doing this work of the Lord anyway. Go ahead.
So Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so.
Whosoever shall break one of these least commandments and teach men so. Who do that? The church. This is what I was just talking about. The church do this thing right here. In the church, they talking about, oh no, God loves you. God bless your heart. You know what I mean? You could be a stinking sodomite, you know what I mean? And they'll, you know what I mean, dip you in water. And now you're a whole brand new person. Now you're just a wet sodomite.
Right.
You understand? You're not the baptism is the one that comes by fire. You know what I mean? You gotta go through fire, meaning you gotta change your actual, you know what I mean, mannerism. You gotta change who you are, how you conduct yourself.
Right.
That's the baptism. You know what I mean? You was a brother that was smoking weed or whatever like that. You gotta go through the fire of cutting that out your life. Sometimes it hurts you physically to do it, but you know what I mean, that come with it. And then at the end of that, brother, now we got diamonds. You know what I mean? That came out the pressure of all that stuff that you had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we gotta do things, man. Zephaniah 2:1. This is the last precept. I'm gonna wrap it. You know what I mean? Zephaniah 2:1 says you don't gotta pull. You know what I mean? Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, woman, and child. We gotta wake up to the knowledge of the truth that we are the Israelites of the Bible. You know what I mean? We God's chosen people. You know what I mean? We make up the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And the Lord wants us to come back together. And we in the ghettos all over America suffering together, suffering amongst one another. You know what I mean? And we in the different islands over there in the Caribbean suffering together. Brothers over here on the island of Hispaniola, the tribe of Simeon and tribe of Levi, the Haitians and Dominicans suffering together. We're gonna have to come together and rise together. You understand? That's what we're gonna do, and that's what we pushing here in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. With that, if you want to say anything, you know what I mean, go ahead. Yeah, with that, you know what I mean, we're gonna close it out. You know what I mean? So get my español. Soy el oficial de la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal, una organización que comenzó en la calle 125 en Harlem, Nueva York, bajo el mando del general YAHANNA. Mencionamos que los negros, los hispanos y los nativos americanos son familia y son el pueblo elegido de Dios, según la Biblia. All right, we the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, starting out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander YAHANNA. We've been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969. Truth being that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are God's chosen people according to the Bible, man. And with that, you know what I mean, we're gonna say shalom. See y'all next week, Tuesday night on the Brotherhood Class. All right, shalom.